More than 100,000 people in Sweden that got their permanent residency through asylum fear to lose their permanent residence if the new policy come into effect. Now, according to the breaking news, it is something that is very big and very controversial. It's a policy that was actually proposed by the Swedish Democrats, and they want to cancel people who sought asylum in Sweden and got their permanent residence. They want to cancel their resident permits. And we are talking about 100,000 people, including their family, their friends, and everyone that got a permanent residence through asylum. So they want to cancel their resident permit, and they're going to be checking each and every case, and then they're going to give them temporary permits. And then after that, they're going to try to now start working hard to become eligible for Swedish citizen. So if you understand this law, it basically means that if you are now coming to seek asylum in Sweden, you can no longer get a permanent residence through asylum. They will be giving you temporary residence, right? And then from the temporary residence, you can now be eligible for your for your citizenship. So another thing is that we all know that people that came with kids are basically who were under gymnasium lagen. The kids are also going to be affected. Remember that the gymnasium lagen got finished in 2023, and it's a law that I've spoken about of how it has affected a lot of families because there are kids that are 18. Because according to the Swedish Migration Agency policy is that once you are 18, you are no longer connected to your parents. So once you are 18, you need to do an application on your own, and you need to prove that you can support yourself financially, and you are no longer depending on your parents. So that gymnasium law, a lot of people used it for their children who are still in school and studying, and this made them to get a permanent residence and stay in Sweden because they're in gymnasium. Gymnasium is basically high school or secondary school or whatever you want to call it, but in Sweden is a gymnasium. This is where from primary school you go to gymnasium, and then from gymnasium you go to the university. So people who are under gymnasium lagen are also gonna be affected. And like I said, this law has been cancelled since 2023, and it has affected a lot of people, especially people who didn't know about it. You have seen cases of teenagers being asked to go back to their home country because of the gymnasium lagen, and because maybe they were not aware about it, and maybe they could not even get a job or whatever it is. So this is just to prepare you guys that I don't know how to prepare, but a lot of people are saying that maybe the law will not come into effect, that maybe the Social Democrats are just threatening people. But I have always, I don't know, all the policies that that have been put out there, they always come to pass. Number one, when they talk about you need to study the language and know about the Swedish society for you to get a citizen. This is the law that they have been talking about for years, but now it's coming to effect next year. Another thing is changing of track. Remember that as an asylum seeker, they gave a warning, or they gave a proposal that you can no longer change track. And when I talked about this changing of track, it's also something that is still there, that people that got a residence permit through work after changing from asylum to work, they can no longer extend their residence permit. So what am I saying? This is just to explain that you can see that the Swedish migration policies are changing every day. Everything is just getting difficult. And for those of you who have been texting me, asking me how to come to Sweden, how is Sweden, then this is it. A lot of policies. You need to sit down and read. You need to do your own research. And when I start talking like that, some people will say you are discouraging people from coming to Sweden. That's not what I'm doing. All I do is to give you information so that you know whatever way you want to come to Sweden, how are you going to navigate? How can you stay in Sweden? what are the requirements? So instead of you wasting your life, your time, working so hard, just expect that it's never an easy journey. And with the changes of migration policies, then this is it. So you guys, that's the update I wanted to clarify. I put I put the video on my TikTok, but I didn't really talk about it. And I felt like, okay, let me just speak about it. And yes, that is it. More than 100,000 people fear to lose their permanent resident permit, and this is people who came to Sweden through asylum. So basically the policy says that they want to cancel their permanent residency and give them like a temporary ones, and this is because they want more people to earn being Swedish citizens, right? And people have been asking me questions like, are they going to give back our tax money? You know, a lot of questions, a lot of confusion. And let me tell you, I am confused as well. I'm like, wow, this is massive. This is so controversial. This is political. I don't even know. When you check about the whole policy, you look at the positive side and the negative side and what people are saying about it. And maybe that's a topic for another day. I'm going to do a topic concerning this new policy and what are the consequences, and based on what people are saying, based on research and all those things. So I see you guys in my next one.